All right, it's Monday, March 18th, just following up on the SPY. You can see here it has eventually worked down to take out the lows of the day, and it's kind of pausing here. The options, I bought those 514 puts at 327. They briefly got to 350. They're at 343 right now, so not much movement. And hard to say, really what's going to unfold. I bought some puts way back here, anticipating, given that we couldn't start up with momentum to start the day, that we try to take out a little liquidity before heading higher. Who knows, maybe now we take out liquidity and we close strongly green. At the moment, we have a potential shooter bar here on the daily chart with about an hour to go in trading. But the big picture here is really this is not a good environment to even be trading at all. If you really just look at the weekly SPY, inside week from choppy week the week before, inside week now, we start off the week inside here, and quite frankly on the daily chart we're right in the middle of this range overall. So who knows what's really going to happen. I mean, this is either going to be moving up and pausing and not really able to get a two down that builds up energy for a whole nother leg up, or maybe it's just eventually going to break down. But we anticipated that might happen coming into the week, and then it immediately gaps up right back into the range again. And if we get a two down day tomorrow, are we really going to reach this target down here to set to get a two down week? It's kind of far away. There's a gap to fill where you can find support. So this is just becoming very, very tricky here, and it's not even something I'm on the indexes I'm not excited to trade one way or the other. To me, the more and more we can't go down. If we would get a two down move that failed and then started up, that would be a better type of trade. At the moment here, it seems to be choppy, and anything near the top of the range presents a little short-term selling, and at the bottom, short-term buying. But you need the intraday price structure to kind of guide you to that for sort of some moves that at least can immediately go your way. So anyway, I guess I'll close it out here. I don't think this trade is anything at the moment. Maybe, the structure on the day is a little down. We took out liquidity. If it doesn't bounce here, maybe it wants to close lower. Again, if we get a shooter bar into tomorrow, then we could expect to try to test lower towards the bottom of the range. But until we get below, the green line, which is the monthly, open, and until we get a two down week, then you never know what's going to really unfold. And it's just choppy kind of stuff. So all you can do is maybe judge the intraday price flow to see if there's any, a trade that would lead you to something that might develop on this chart, because it's not as if there's actionable signals going on here. To me, if you have a two up day, a gap up like this in a very choppy range, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get momentum to the upside, given that it's choppy and it can immediately sell off. And the same thing on a gap down. I'm not convinced. So you're going to have to kind of see daily structure unfold to start giving signals that could then pinball to its target, which might pinball to breaking out of this weekly range. That's the thing, and that's going to take time to develop. So that's kind of my recap here. I don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other. I think the longer this goes on and you can't break down, then we're heading, higher within the trend. I mean, that's all I can think about. And we still have a few days in the week to go to maybe break this down. If we start at two down tomorrow, you can go with it, but just know, you got to see some kind of price action that starts, getting to this green line and below the weekly low. So keep an eye on that. Other than that, there's not much to say. I mean, I'm looking at more individual stocks out there, but some of those are tough as well, in line with the market. So anyway, just want to show you here, after buying some puts here, price did eventually take out the low of the day. You assume once it wasn't making a secondary push, to the highs of the day, that instead of momentum to the upside, it would probably try to take out liquidity first before heading higher, and this was the obvious liquidity level, the open here, the low of the day at the first bar. So eventually it got here, but I don't know in the next hour how this thing's going to close. And, that, like I said, if we do end up with a shooter bar, might lead to a little expectation lower tomorrow, but I'm still going to have to judge everything in the context of this choppiness in here, and just trying to point out how tough that is. And, it's better to wait for signals where everything aligns as opposed to, or if not, then, if you're going to take certain little trades, just know you got to get things going immediately your way, or else, it's probably, just in a choppy zone. So that's kind of the conclusion here for today. And, I think be better just maybe to recap how this week unfolds later on, because I don't see too much developing in the days ahead that are obvious. But we will see how opening price action develops tomorrow relative to how this bar closes and relative to just being in this whole choppy range at the moment.